and thanks for joining us for the Mazza Inner Circle Wine Club Maturation release of Reds. I'm Mario Mazza.
And I'm Blaine, Ballard.
And today we're here in the cavern at the South Shore Wine Company, one of our properties, and we're going to be sharing a series of Reds today that Blaine's put together to take us through.
All three drink great on their own, but they all beg for food. They're all nice dry red wines, packed full of red fruit flavors and aromas. And like I said, I think they all drink well, but they all beg for some good red meat and pasta dishes. So we can sort of go through that as we taste.
Perfect winter warmers for this time.
Absolutely.
All right, fantastic. So the first wine we've got is the Bare Bones Red, correct? And this is the this is a wine that was only added to the portfolio maybe about 6 or 7 years ago now, but it was really about creating an approachable red. It's a multi-varietal blend, but also created in, I guess, more of a fun, approachable feel in some ways to engage. So the wine itself, has again a number of red varieties blended in, both vinifera and some hybrid varieties as well. It has an oak component, but it's not dominated by that. It's really about keeping, a straightforward, fruit-forward, very, very quaffable red. Not super high in alcohol. It's not meant to be something you drink 1 or 2 glasses of and go, oh my gosh. It's something that you can just, easily enjoy. I wouldn't suggest the whole bottle, but maybe with somebody.
Me.
Or me.
Yeah, a ton of red fruit flavors, really bright. The oak doesn't come on too strong, but I mean, in my opinion, this, if you're grilling out, having a barbecue, anything like that, this would go fantastic with any of those dishes.
Yeah. And a little bit, in terms of the tannin structure, this is built as a red. Sometimes you get some reds that are just so astringent. You do need that food to pair with them. This pairs well with food, but this actually drinks really nice on its own because you don't have that overly astringent character. You've got a little bit more, restrained and fine tannin structure, which just makes it, a nice drinking glass of red. And honestly, I think it's great in the winter. But this is also a red, one of those. Maybe our summers don't get that hot here. My wife's from Australia, and it's really kind of weird to think about a 90-degree day and trying to enjoy a big, Shiraz. It's a little bit much. A red like this is actually really enjoyable. It's funny, my father-in-law, who's Australian, loves this, wine in warmer weather because it is a red that you can enjoy, but it's not so, overwhelming, I guess, in that kind of weather.
Yeah, super approachable, which I think is the aim of the whole series of Bare Bones wines. But you can taste the quality. It's definitely a well-made wine with a ton of possibilities for drinking.
So moving to the next wine line, we've got the Mazza Chautaqua Cellars 2017 Merlot. This is Long Island fruit, and we work with different appellations across New York for the Chautaqua Cellars label because there are some really great regions. We work with growers in the Finger Lakes. We work with, of course, growers in our home region of Lake Erie, but also folks out on Long Island, which has become a bit of a home on the East Coast with regards to their Merlot. And we have the good fortune of working with some great growers out there. Merlot, unfortunately, thanks to the movie Sideways, for those that remember, it fell out of favor for years. Still a really great drinking red wine. Soft, approachable tannin structure. For us, in terms of the winemaking, we're really focused on making sure that we get, just really good maturation time in barrel, using a little bit of new oak, but primarily second and third use oak, so we don't overpower the fruit. Getting 18 to 22 months, depending on the vintage, in cooperage, and that really is important for us to help mellow, integrate the acidity with the East Coast Merlot that I think actually helps keep that fruit really bright, but also allows the time to integrate with the oak and integrate with the rest of the tannin structure.
Definitely bright. I really love the color on this wine. It's a little bit, I don't want to say light, but it's definitely a little bit lighter and really brilliant. You get some nice hues, and I think it's a super Merlot. I get a little bit of floral notes on the nose, which you don't get from some other regions or winemakers, but it doesn't carry over into the palate. You're still getting that bright red fruit.
Yeah, so just that lifted aroma that
Exactly.
really kind of just makes it really, really,
Yeah.
really fragrant, yeah. And one of the other things, I guess, with that wine too is often, we talk about the barrel aging, and we are actually making sure that we're leaving that bottle laid down before release for 4 to 6 months after bottling. And that really helps with a bit of bottle age. Just lets that wine settle down after any initial bottle shock, and we find that, it's a little bit of an extra step. It's not as common for a lot of East Coast reds to see that. We find that it really helps exhibit some really, nice quality characteristics with regards to these wines.
Yeah, for sure. Again, oak not overpowering in it. It's there, but a lot of times you'll have some big reds that all you're tasting is the barrel. And I think that the aging that you guys do on this is fantastic. It really balances nicely.
Yeah, I think that's the theme too, is, East Coast wines, they're a little bit more restrained. You don't have the big 14, 15, 60% alcohols. You're in the 12s, 13s, maybe 13 and a half. And because of that, you need to balance that oak. It's all about striking a balance, striking a harmony. We don't want an overly dominant single character, whether that's the oak or anything else. So it's really about achieving that and striking that balance. So the next wine, is a wine that I think people often associate with some very warm climates. Cabernet Sauvignon. This is from Mazza Vineyards. And cool climate cabs can be really interesting, but there's something that maybe aren't as widely known. But you can go to some New World regions that cooler climate cabs are there side by warm climate in the same country. They're a different wine, but I think they can be appreciated for the fact that they are a little bit more fruit friendly. They're not big, huge, over oak fruit bombs. It's a little bit more restrained, a little bit brighter on the palate, and tends to pair well with food. Obviously, a variety like this, maybe not obviously, it ripens later, so it is a more challenging variety for us to successfully execute. So there's some vintages where we haven't necessarily released a vintage of Cabernet Sauvignon. We've picked the better vintages, and those are the ones that we released in 17. We were fortunate. We had 16 and 17 were great growing years here for reds in particular as well. So that really helps us, but we have to be a little bit more selective about what we do.
Yeah, nice and bright. I mean, you definitely not flabby. You get a lot of fruit right up front, and a little bit of levity, just like with the Merlot. It's a good balance of everything. I get a little bit more of the barrel aging in this, but
that tannin
but
structure
really,
really starts to come out compared to the Merlot.
Yeah.
The softer you start to really taste, okay, yeah, this is cab. There's a little bit more tannin structure.
both these varieties, I find it so interesting that you can have 4 different bottles from 4 different regions, and like you said, some of those regions may be in the same state or country, but just the climatic effects on them make a huge difference. So it's really, really interesting to put these next to wines from different regions and compare and contrast them. So I think they're all really well made and just really an interesting study of viticulture.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us. We'll look forward to having you join us again with our next installation.
Cheers.
Cheers.